Kalthoum, born as Fatma Ibrahim al-Sayyid al-Biltagi on the 30th of December 1898 and died on the 3rd of February 1975. She is كوكب الشرق, or Star of the East. And still, 3 decades after her death, she is widely regarded as the greatest Arabic singer in history.
عمري ما كنت بتوقع أبداً حاجة قبل ما تحصل. يعني دائماً ببقى خايفة.
لغاية دلوقتي بتخافي لما تقابلي جمهورك؟
فعلاً، لأني بحترم الجمهور فبخاف إني أعمل حاجة ما تعجبوش.
مش معقول ما تعجبوش. أي حاجة بتقوليها الحقيقة بيبقى لها رد فعل عظيم جدا.
Kalthoum was born in the village of Tamail Zahaira in the city of El Simbillawain, Daqahliya Governorate, in the Nile Delta. At a young age, she showed exceptional singing talent. Her father, an imam at the local mosque, taught her to recite the Quran, and she is said to have memorized the entire book. When she was 12 years old, her father disguised her as a young boy and joined her to a small performing troupe that he directed. At the age of 16, she was noticed by Muhammad Abu al-Ila, a modestly famous singer, who taught her the old classical Arab repertoire. A few years later, she met the famous composer and oudist Zakaria Ahmed, who invited her to come to Cairo. Although she made several visits to Cairo in the early 1920s, she waited until 1923 before permanently moving there. She was invited on several occasions to the house of Amin Bey al-Mahdi, who taught her to play the oud, a type of lute. Amin al-Mahdi introduced her to the cultural circles in Cairo, where she carefully avoided the bohemian lifestyle and indeed, throughout her life, stressed her pride in her humble origins and conservative values. At this point in her career, Kalthoum was introduced to the famous poet Ahmad Rami, who wrote 137 songs for her. Rami also introduced her to French literature, which he greatly admired from his studies at the Sorbonne in Paris, and eventually became her head mentor in Arabic literature and literary analysis. Furthermore, she was introduced to the renowned oud virtuoso and composer Muhammad al-Qasabgi, who introduced her to the Arabic Theatre Palace, where she would experience her first real public success. In 1932, her fame as a singer increased through sales of her records to the point where she embarked upon a major tour of the Middle East, performing in important Arab cities such as Damascus, Beirut, Tunisia, and Tripoli.
قل لي وياك أشكيلك من نار حبي، بدي أحكيلك عاللي في قلبي، وأقول لك عاللي سهرني، وأقول لك عاللي بكاني، وأصور لك ضنا روحي وعزة نفسي منعاني، وعزة نفسي منعاني.
Kalthoum's establishment as one of the most famous and popular Arab singers was driven by several factors. During her early career years, she faced staunch competition from two prominent singers, Munira al-Mahdiya and Fathiya Ahmed, who had similar voices. However, Kalthoum had an exceptional control over her voice and an emotive vocal impact that attracted many composers, musicians, and lyricists to work with Kalthoum. In 1934, Kalthoum sang for the inaugural broadcast of Radio Cairo, the state station. Over the second half of the 1930s, two initiatives sealed the fate of Kalthoum as the most popular and famous Arab singer: her appearances in musical movies and the live broadcasting of her concerts performed on the first Thursday of each month of her musical season from October to June. Her songs deal mostly with the universal themes of love, longing, and loss.
جمهور حساس، موسيقي بطبعه، كريم في مقابلته. هو ده اللي بيحقق التجاوب بين الفنان وبين جمهوره. دائما أنا نعمل بروفات على جميع الأغاني حتى لا نفاجأ بطلب من الجمهور ما نكونش مستعدين له. يعني مثلا ما كانش في البرنامج بتاعنا ان احنا نقول انت عمري او بعيد عنك.
Kalthoum started to rely heavily on a younger composer who joined her artistic team a few years earlier, Riyad Sumbati. While Sumbati was evidently influenced by Al-Qasabki in those early years, the melodic lines he composed were more lyrical and more acceptable to Kalthoum's audience. The result of collaborations with Rami, Sumbati, and El Tunsi was a populist and popular repertoire that had lasting appeal for the Egyptian audience. In 1946, Kalthoum defied all odds by presenting a religious poem in classical Arabic during one of her monthly concerts, Salu Qalbi, written by Ahmed Shawqi and composed by Sumbati.
Salu qalbi ghadat salawat la'alla ala ويسألوا في الحوادث ذو صواب، فهل ترك الجمال له صواب؟ ويسألوا في الحوادث ذو صواب، فهل ترك الجمال له صوابا؟ وكنت إذا سألت القلب يوما، وكنت إذا سألت القلب يوما تولى الدمع عن قلبي الجواب.
The success was immediate. It reconnected Kalthoum with her early singing years, defined Sombati's unique style in composing, and established him as the best composer of music for poems in classical Arabic. At the peak of her career in 1950, Kalthoum sang Sombati's composition of excerpts of what Ahmad Rami considered the accomplishments of his career, the translation from Persian into classical Arabic of Omar al-Khayyam's quartets, رباعيات الخيام. Ibrahim Nagi's poem El-Atlal, The Ruins, composed by Sombati and premiered in 1966, is considered by many as Kalthoum's best song. Around 1965, Kalthoum started cooperating with composer Muhammad Abdul Wahab. Her first song composed by Abdul Wahab, Inta Umri, was considered the summit meeting, لقاء السحاب. Kalthoum also sang for composers Muhammad al-Mugi, Sayyid Mikawi, and Baligh Hamdi.
أكاد أشك في نفسي لأني أكاد أشك فيك وأنت مني. يقول الناس إنك خنت عهدي ولم تحفظ هواي ولم تصني، وأنت مناي أجمعها مشت بي إليك خطى الشباب المطمئن. يكذب فيك كل الناس قلبي، وتسمع فيك كل الناس أذني، وكم طافت علي ظلال شك أقضت مضجعي واستعبدتني، كأني طاف بي ركب الليالي يحدث عنك في الدنيا وعني، على أني أغالط فيك سمعي وتبصر فيك غير الشك عيني، وما أنا بالمصدق فيك قولا ولكني شقيت بحسن ظني.
كوكب الشرق أم كلثوم died on February the 3rd, 1975 at the age of 76. Her funeral procession became a national event with around 4 million grief-stricken Egyptians lining the streets, bidding her farewell.